Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Alright, guys, I hope I'm audible to everybody. If anyone is, if anyone can just reply me whether I'm audible or not. Everyone, can you just reply me whether I'm audible or not? Hello, Chiki. Yeah, I hope I'm audible, right? Okay, Kundan. Sorry, Kundan. Okay. Thank you, Kundan. Thank you for replying. All right. Okay, guys. Welcome to our channel. Good evening to all of you, right? I'm sure I'm audible and visible properly, right? So guys, what we are going to do today, right? You must have seen the thumbnails and everything, the messages. So yeah, today we are going to learn a very interesting and very important chapter of QT section of CLAT, which is called averages, right? It's one of the important topics, right? See guys, we all know that in QT section in CLAT exam, they ask the question in the form of data interpretation, right? And data interpretation from last year, in the last year they asked two sets of 6 questions each, right? So in those sets, they involve all the, you can say, important arithmetic topics like percentages, like ratios, like profit loss, all the important chapters of arithmetic, they just involve it, all right? So average is also one of the chapters which they involve, or this year also they can involve. So guys, we thought that we should run such kind of session for the students to help them, by which we can finish a single chapter in a single go, in just one go, right? Means one go sessions, right? So today we have come up for this one short session of averages, all right? So yes, no, Chiki, percentage is not done yet. Okay, but we have a lot of YouTube videos, right, which you can see, right? In the videos we have covered the all percentages. From there you can see that, all right? Kundan, sorry, your name is Kundan, I forgot it. Kundan, you can see the percentages video in our YouTube channel, right? They are not live, but they are the videos, and we have covered all the concept of percentages. There are 3 different videos of percentages which you can watch it. All right. So guys, let's start the session without wasting any moment, right? So in this today's, I'm sure you understood what we are going to do. We are going to learn the topic averages. In this topic, we will be doing all the concept from basics, right? And then we'll be doing all the important applications as well. We are not going to do the DI set today, but we are going to do the single questions of averages, which can be asked in the sets. All right. Okay. Let's go, guys. Okay, so let's start with the session, the very basic concept of averages. Okay, storyteller is here. Storyteller, if you can let me know your real name, right, so that it will be easy for me to, call you then, right? Okay, guys, averages. I'm sure we all know some very basic things about the averages, right? Just a second, guys. All right. Okay, so yes, I was just saying that we all know the basics of the topic, right? First, there is one very basic kind of formula of averages, right? What is that? We all know that formula. Average is what? Average is nothing but sum of the quantities divided by the number of the quantities, right? Some very basic kind of formula of averages, right, guys? Okay, if you just do a simple example, right? Let's say we are given a few numbers. Let's say we are given numbers like 10, 13, 15, 18, and let's say 20, all right? And we have to find the average of them. So what will be the average? Average is the sum of the quantities divided by the number of the quantities, as I mentioned, right? So what is the sum of the quantities? We can say 10 plus 13 plus 15 plus 18 plus 20, right? And divided by the number of the quantities. How many numbers do you see here? We see, 5 numbers, right? We just see 5 numbers. So divided by 5, all right? Now what should be the sum? So guys, if we add them, we will get how much? 10 plus 20 is 30. 30 and this is 31, 61. 61 and 15 is 76, right? So 76 by 5, we can say this is 15.2 in the end, right? So that should be the average, all right? 15.2, right? I'm sure you all can see that. Ria, okay, Ria. Okay, this is something very basic, right? I'm sure most of us know about this, right? This is the average. Okay, now guys, with this formula, if we just do some cross multiplication, right? So we can say one more thing. Okay, this is sum, right? Okay, if we do the cross multiplication, right, we can say what? That sum of the quantities is the average into the number of the quantities, right, guys? If we do the cross multiplication of this, right, we can say sum of the quantities is the average into the number of the quantities, all right? Sum of the quantities has to be what? We can say this is average into the number of the quantities, right? Simple. So suppose, we are given that average of few numbers is this. We can easily find the sum of those numbers as well. If I take an example, right? Let's say we are given that average of, 12 numbers, okay? Let's say they are saying average of 12 numbers is, let's say, 20, okay? Then what will be the sum of those numbers? So sum of the numbers must be, with this formula we can say it should be average into the number of the numbers, right? The average is how much? The average is 20 and number of numbers is 12 in this example. So it should be 240, right, guys? The sum of the numbers will come 240. I'm sure this must be clear to everyone, right? Okay, simple things. All right. Now guys, with the same, we can use one more formula, okay? See, in this formula, we were knowing that average is sum of the quantities divided by the number of the quantities, right? Then sum of the quantities is average into the number of the quantities, and now the number of the quantities must be, okay, we can say the number of the quantities is the sum of the quantities divided by the average, right? We can say this should be sum of the quantities divided by the average. Alright guys, so that we have is a third, formula based on the same, alright? Simple. Okay, the last one is used not much, but we should know it, right? We should know it. The first two formulas are used the most. The third formula is not used much, but we should know the formula, obviously. In fact, there is no need to, remember the formulas. The first formula, if you just know, then you can find the other two formulas easily, right? Okay, everybody, I want, your replies as well, right? In the session, I want you guys to keep replying. Okay. Fine. Okay. Hopefully this is understood and we may go ahead. Everybody, can we go ahead? All the people who are watching. All right, I'm sure this must be clear. Very easy, right? Okay, so now we'll be starting some, very basic kind of applications, right? So this is the first question of the session. Why don't you guys try it? Isn't it? Why don't you try it? That was simple. Okay, so yes, why don't you guys try it and take 2 minutes to solve this problem? Okay, I want you guys to take 2 minutes, to solve this question. Everyone, just take 2 minutes, please, and try to solve it. See, the question will be asked in the form of the word problems, right? So I'm also asking the word problems to you, right? Everyone take 2 minutes to solve this question. Okay, I got one answer. Yes, Asha, this is correct. Good. Guys, I just got one answer. Anybody else? Are you doing it? Or should I explain? Guys, do you want to solve it or should I finish it? I mean, should I explain? Other students, are you doing this problem or should I explain? Ria and Kundan, are you solving this problem or should I explain? Okay, guys, I think I should explain this now, right? Okay, so the question says that the average expenditure of a man for 10 days is rupees 13, alright, while for the first 5 days is rupees 10 and also the average expenditure for the last 3 days is rupees 16. Now find out the average expenditure for the 6th and the 7th day, right? Okay guys, in this question what is given? The average expenditure of a man for all the 10 days, right? And for first 5 days average is given and also for the last 3 days is given, and we need to find the average expenditure for the 6th and the 7th day, right? So how can we do that, guys? If you have to find the average, right, the basic formula to find the average is sum of the quantities divided by the number of the quantities, right? So if you have to find the average expenditure of the 6th and the 7th day, we have to find the total expenditure of the 6th and the 7th day, and then we'll divide by the number of days, which is obviously just 2, because we are finding the average of 6th and 7th day, which are only 2 days, right? Okay, so how can we do that? We need to find the sum of the expenditure of the 6th and the 7th day. And how can we do that? We can do that by the help of, the average of the 10 days, average of the first 5 days, and average of the last 3 days, right? How? Let me show you this, guys, okay? See, first we know the average of the 10 days, right? So what will be the total expenditure of the 10 days? Everybody? Okay, remember I told you, few formulas in the first slide, right? And I told you that the first 2 formulas are used most, and second formula, in fact, sometimes use more than the first one, right? That is about the sum of the quantities. It's very simple. Sum of the quantities is the average into the number of the quantities. Very simple formula, right? So we'll use this, right? Sum is what? The average into the number of the quantities. So guys, total expenditure of the 10 days is what? Is the average expenditure of the 10 days into the number of the days, right? Average expenditure of 10 days into the number of days, which is obviously 10, right? Number of days is obviously 10, and average is given to us how much? Rupees 13, right? And the number of days is 10, and that makes it rupees 130, right? That just makes it rupees 130. Very simple is that, right? Okay, what next? Guys, after that, we can also find out the total expenditure of the first 5 days and the last 3 days as well, right? Okay, let me write this. The total expenditure of the first 5 days, what it should be, the same logic, guys. The average expenditure of the first 5 days into the number of days, right? I don't think we need to write that formula every time, okay? Average expenditure of the first 5 days into the number of days. Average of first 5 days is given to us how much? It's given to us rupees 10, all right? The number of days is 5, so this has to be rupees 50. Simple, right? This just has to be rupees 50. Similarly, we can do the total expenditure of the last 3 days, right? Okay, let's see what will be the total expenditure of the last 3 days. Okay, guys, the total expenditure of the last 3 days, right? We can do how? See, the average of the last 3 days is 16, right? And the number of days is 3, so we can find this as well, 16 to 3, which has to be rupees 48, right? Simple, okay? So finally, we can find out the total expenditure of the 6th and the 7th day, which is, actually for which we have to find the average as well, right? So what should be the total expenditure of the 6th and the 7th day, right? The total expenditure of the 6th and 7th day, right? We can say what, guys? We can say this is equals to, okay, the total expenditure of the 10 days, the total expenditure of all 10 days, right? Minus the total expenditure of the first 5 days minus the total expenditure of the last 3 days, right? Minus the total expenditure of the last 3 days. Everybody just let me know if you understand all of this or not, right? Guys, just let me know if this is clear or not, everybody. Guys, I just want you to write down, is this clear or not? Okay, so just last thing, guys, is some calculation, right? So here we can do what? The total expenditure of all 10 days is how much? The total of all 10 days we can say is rupees 130, right? Of the first 5 days we can say is rupees 50, and the last 3 days is rupees 48, right? Now what it should be, guys, 130 minus 50 obviously is 80, right? And 80 minus 48 is obviously 32, right? 80 minus 48 is obviously 32. That's it, right? Simple. So the total expenditure of the 6th and the 7th day came to be rupees 32. Now the last thing is we need to find is the average of the 6th and the 7th day, which is very simple now, right? See guys, the total is 32, so what should be the average? Okay, I didn't think I need to write it much after that, right? The average expenditure of 6th and the 7th day is, you know, this the sum of the sum of the expenditure, which is rupees 32, divided by the number of days, which is 2. So 32 by 2 has to be rupees 16, right? Simple. Okay, so guys, finally we can say the answer is rupees 16, which was given correctly by some of the students in the beginning. Yes, perfect. Alright guys, any doubt with this? Just ask me quickly. And yes, I'm sure you understand that we do not need to write that much. Okay guys, we are not supposed to write that much. We have to do, you know, the calculations, yes, but we do not need to write that much. I have written that much to make you understand things properly, okay? But you do not need to write that much, obviously guys, right? I'm sure you also know that you are not supposed to write that much. You can, you know, avoid a lot of writing work here. I had to explain, so I wrote it. Maybe from the next question, I'll also, you know, I'll also, you know, decrease writing that much. Okay, with every question, I'll decrease writing. Very obvious. All right, so that was the question number 1 with us. Now I think we shall move to the next problem, right, guys? Okay, so here comes with the question number 2. All right. Again, you know, the question of the basic averages, but yes, it's a good question, not very simple. So maybe you guys can have 2 minutes to solve it, right? I will give you 2 minutes to solve. Let's see how many of you give me the right answer. Guys, 2 minutes, right? Yes, Ashia, the answer is correct. Very good. What about the other students? Are you solving it or not? Other students, are you solving or you want me to try? You want me to solve, explain, right? Ria and Kundan, are you guys solving this question? Okay, maybe I need to explain this, right? Okay, guys. So question says what a batsman's average runs of 12 innings is 35. All right. In his 13th inning, how many runs he needs to score so that his average increases by 2 runs? Okay. Okay, so right now his average is 35. His average is increasing by 2 runs. That means his new average has to be 37 runs. Very obvious, right? Okay. As you can, if there is any doubt, you can always write. I'm always reading your comments, guys. I'm always reading the chat messages, right? You must be also observing with every minute, I just read your chats. Why? So that I do not miss any of your doubts or query, right? Okay, so again, I'm saying if you get any kind of query or doubt, just write in the chat, okay? Fine. The question says, again, let me read it. Initially, his average of 12 innings is 35 runs. In his 13 innings, how many runs he should score so that his average increases by 2 runs? So, guys, we can just say one thing, that his total runs of 13 innings, right? Total runs of 13 innings is the total runs of 12 innings, right? Is the total runs of 12 innings plus his runs plus the runs he scored in 13th inning, right? Plus the runs he scored in 13th inning. Simple. Very simple, guys, okay? Runs he scored in 13th inning, and you know what? That's the actual question as well, that how many runs he scored in 13th inning. Right, guys? That's the final question. Runs he scored in the 13th inning, that is the final thing which you have to find it out as well, okay? So total runs for 13 innings should be how much? Okay, guys, see. We just discussed that his average of 12 innings is 35, and we are given that his average increases by 2 runs. That means his average of 13 innings should be 37, right? And what is the formula of the total runs, or you can say the sum of the runs? We can say average runs into the number of innings, right? So in 13 innings, the average is 37 and the innings are 13. So 37 into 13 must be the total runs of the 13 innings, all right? Then the total runs of 12 innings, we can say what? See, guys, the average of 12 innings is 35 and the matches are 12, like this, plus the runs scored in 13th inning, right? That's it. Plus the runs scored in 13th inning, right? This is what we have to do that. Okay, now guys, it's simple to solve it after all of this, right? So 37 into 13 is how much? We just have to do some calculation work. So 37 into 13, guys, you can say 37 into 10 plus 37 into 3, okay? By splitting it, right, you can do this faster. So 37 into 10 is 370 and 37 into 3 is 111, okay? So 370 plus 111 is, we can say, 481, all right? Next is an easy product, easy multiplication, 35 into 12. We can do the same, we can split 12 as 10 and 2. So 35 into 10 plus 35 into 2. 35 into 10 is simple, 350, and 35 into 2 is 70, very simple. So 350 plus 70 is 420, right? So 420 plus the runs scored in the 13th inning, right, guys? That's it. So this is how we can find out the runs scored in 13th inning for him, right? That should be how much? I guess that should be 481 minus 420, all right? And 481 minus 420 is how much? It's simple, it has to be 61, okay? 481 minus 420 is 61, that's it. Right, guys? Hope this is clear to all. Everybody, I'm sure this is clear to all of you. It's a simple question. Other students, can you quickly reply me if this is clear to you or not? Ria and Kundan, are you guys, could you understand this or not? If not, you can reply me, right? I will try to explain you again. Anybody any doubt with this problem? Okay, no one is writing, so probably it's clear, right? Yes, Asha, you already given the answer, right? What about the other people? Okay, no one is writing. I'm assuming this is clear. So let's move to the next problem. Now, guys, you know the level is increasing with every question. Obviously, it should increase as well, right? So the next question here, in which we also have to use some basic logics, right? So I would give you 2 more minutes to solve this, right? I would give you 2 minutes to solve this problem as well. So let's see how many of you give me the right answer, everybody. Alright guys, hope you're solving, or if you say should I explain that? Guys, maybe I should explain, right? Because I'm not getting the answer of this question from anybody. Alright, so here's the question says that the average weight of the 10 men is increased by 1.5 kgs when one of the men whose weight is 68 kg is replaced by a new man, right? Find the weight of the new man. Okay. Alright guys, so again let's understand there were 10 men initially, right? The average weight has been increased by 1.5 kgs when one of the man whose weight is 68 kg is replaced by a new man. Okay, so we have to find the weight of the new man, right? Okay guys, how can we solve that? See what is happening here, right? Because one man is replacing, right? Because of that the average is increasing, right? Because of one man is replacing, right, then the average weight is increasing. Because the average weight increasing, guys, so we can also say that the total weight also increase. Why? Because the number of men being the same, right? Guys, the total men are not changing. See, earlier we had how many men? 10 men. One man is being replaced by the other, right? That means the total men is still 10, right? Number of men are not changing. If the number of men changes, then we might have to use some other approach. But in this question, the number of men, number of people is not changing. So actually this is not as difficult, right? Let me explain you how can we do this. So as I said, number of men is not changing. So we can directly say that the increase in the or increment in the total weight, right, will be equal to the increment in the average weight into the number of people, right guys, into the number of people, simple as that, right, number of men. Why? Because the number of men is not changing at all. See guys, we know the total weight formula, right? The total weight we can say is what? The average weight into the number of people, right? So we can also say that increase in the total weight is equal to increase in the average weight into the number of people. We can prove this as well, but I don't think it's required, right? We can prove this equation which I have written here, but I don't think it's required. It will just take some extra time, right? I'm sure this must be clear to all of you, and we can just apply this, right? We can just start applying this. So what is the increase in the average weight, guys? The increase in average weight we know is 1.5 kgs, right? We just know this thing. And the total men we know is 10, right? They are not changing at all. So what is the increase in the total weight? We can say the total weight increment is 15 kgs, right? The increase in the total weight is 15 kg. And why the weight is increasing? Because of obvious reason that when because of one man is replacing, right? Okay, so total weight increasing, that means a new man who has come up, who that person's weight must be greater than the man whom he has replaced, right? We are given what? One of the man whose weight is 68 kg is being replaced, right? So we can say what? The weight of the new man, okay, we can actually write here the weight of the new man minus the weight of the man got replaced, weight of the man got replaced should be 15, right? We can simply say that it should be 15 kgs. Why? Because the increase in weight is happening because of that man who has replaced the new man, who has replaced the old man. Very obvious, right? So weight of the new man minus weight of the man who got replaced is 15 kgs, and the weight of the man got replaced is given to us 68 kgs. That's it, right? So now the question is done. We can say the weight of the new man is 15 kgs plus 68 kg, right? We can take 68 kg to the right hand side. So it must be 15 kg plus 68 kgs. That gives us how much? That gives us, 83 kg. So guys, the answer of the problem is 83 kgs. A simple question to solve, right? Means it was a bit logical, I would say, right? Calculation from the point of view of calculation, it was very easy. But yes, it was a bit logical, right? Okay, I hope everyone is able to understand this, right? Alright guys, now let's move to the next problem, the question number 4, right? It is also, different from the others, and definitely you will learn something with the help of this question as well. But first I want you guys to try it, right? Everyone just try it for 2 minutes, and then I will also solve it, right? I want all of you to try for 2 minutes first. I hope you guys are, learning and understanding the solutions. All these questions which I'm taking here are unique, right? And definitely you get to learn something with the help of all of these questions. Is any doubt? Guys, write in the chat, okay? If there is any doubt, you can always write in the chat. Guys, no answer so far. Maybe I should explain, right? Okay, I think I should explain this. The question says that the average presence of the students in a class on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday is given to us 30, and the average presence of the students in a class on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is given to us 28. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is 28. Find the number of students present in the class on Wednesday if the average presence of the students on all the 6 days except Sunday is 27, right? Sunday means holiday. Yes, Asha, the answer is correct. Very good. Okay guys, average is given of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then of all the 6 days on which the school is open, right? We have to find the presence of the students on Wednesday. Okay guys, did you understand one thing, that in the first data, there is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday average given. In the second data, the average of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is given. And in the last data, the average of all the 6 days, Monday to Saturday is given. So one day is common in all of them, right? There is one day common in all of them, and that is Wednesday. And that is why they have asked the presence on Wednesday only, right? The reason is very obvious, because Wednesday is given all the data. That's why they have asked the presence for Wednesday, right? So let's see how we can calculate this now, right? Okay. So average presence of the first 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is given. Let's write in Monday plus Tuesday plus Wednesday, right? So guys, what is the sum of the presence? We all know the basic formulas, right? The sum is the average into the number of days, right? So average presence of these 3 days is 30. The number of days is 3. So 30 into 3 has to be 90. Simple, right? We just applied the same formula. Average into the number of days is the sum, right? Is the total quantity. Okay, now similarly, the average of the last 4 days is Wednesday plus Thursday plus Friday plus Saturday, right? Wednesday plus Thursday plus Friday plus Saturday. And that average is given to us how much? That average is given to us 28, right? And the number of days is 4, so 28 4s is what we have to do. Now, what is 28 4s, guys? 28 2s is 56, 56 2s is 112. So this is how we can find the sum of the presence of these 4 days, which is 112, right? Now guys, let's find out the presence on Wednesday, but we have one more averages, right, on all the 6 days. So let's use that also. Like, we are given the average of the all 6 days. So we can say the total has to be what? Average into the number of days, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday plus Saturday, right? And has to be how much? The average into the number of days. The average is 27 and the number of days is 6. So 27 6 is how much, guys? See, 27 3 is 81, 81 2 is 162, right? So we can say this has to be 162. Now let's say these are the 3 equations which we have, 1, 2 and 3, all right? 1, 2 and 3. Let's call them 3 different equations, right, guys? Now we all know if we add, the equation 1 and 2, right? If we just add equation 1 and 2, we have all the 6 days, but we'll be having Wednesday twice, right? If you guys add the first 2 equation, we'll have all the 6 days, but we'll having Wednesday twice. And third equation, Wednesday is only once. We have all the days, but Wednesday is once. So we can do one thing. We can subtract the third equation with the sum of the first and the second equation, and we can get, the presence on Wednesday, right? Let me show you how. Okay, let's do one thing first. Let's add 1 and 2 first, all right? Let's just add equation 1 and 2 first. 1 by 1, all right? So guys, if we add 1 and 2, what shall we have in the left hand side? Left hand side, we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but Wednesday will be twice because Wednesday is here as well as here, right? So Wednesday will be coming 2 times, 2 into Wednesday, right? Then we can say Thursday, then the Friday, and then the Saturday, right? Okay, and that should be how much? The right hand side we can say is 90 plus 112, which we can say is 202, right, guys? This is 202, and let's call this as equation number 4. Now let us subtract equation 3 from equation number 4. Okay, let's just subtract equation 3 from equation number 4. Now you see that one of the Wednesday will be only left out, right? And all the other terms will be cancelled, guys. Monday will be cancelled. Tuesday will be cancelled. Twice a Wednesday minus Wednesday, only one Wednesday will be left. Thursday cancel, Friday cancel, and Saturday also cancel. So the left side we have only Wednesday, and the right hand side is, we can say what? 202 minus 162. So what it should be? 202 minus 162 has to be 40, right? So we can say the presence on Wednesday of the students is 40, and that should be the final answer. Right, guys? Hope that's clear to all of you, right? Everybody just let me know if this is clear or not. Everybody, I hope this is clear, right? Okay, I'm really assuming that this is clear to all, right? Fine. The next thing, guys, now, after that we'll be doing a new concept, right? That concept is about the average age. All right, that concept is about the average age. So a lot of you must be thinking that why are we doing averages separately, right? Because guys, this is also a kind of averages, isn't it? This is just like we did average weight or anything in the average runs, average marks, average presence in the previous question. So this is also just one different kind of average, right? So a lot of students think that why are we doing it separately, why averages is giving so much of importance. So there is some different kind of applications as ours in averages, because of which we are learning it separately. Okay, see guys, they can't ask the question like that, find the average of the family after 2 years, before 3 years, right? So to solve such kind of questions, we learn the average age, right? Okay, so let me explain you the concept with the help of one example. Okay guys, I would like to explain you the things with the help of one simple example. All right, just a second. Okay, so guys, let's say we are given the average age of a 5-member family, right? Let's say this is given to us, the average age of a 5-member family is equals to, let's say 35 years. Just an example, guys. Okay, we are given that the average age of a 5-member family is 35 years. Now the question is to find out, let me write this, the question is to find out the average age of okay, just one thing we can add it here. We are given the average of the family in the present, right? Present average age. All right guys, let me add this as well. We are given the average age in the present, right? Present average age of the family, right? Now the question is to find the average of the same family, but not right now. We need to find it the next year. Okay, to find out after 1 year, the average age of the family, right? Average age of same family. Okay, so this is something we have to learn it, right? Okay guys, this is not difficult, but I just want to tell you one trick to solve this example, right? Okay, so let me go from the basics, guys. How do we find the average, right? Remember, how do we find the averages? Average is nothing but the sum of the quantities divided by the number of the quantities. Very obvious, right? So number of the quantities is 5 because we still have 5 members. Sum of the quantities means sum of the ages of all the 5 people. This is what we need to find out, all right? And how can we do that? Okay, we can do this with the help of the data which is given to us, the present age of the 5-member family, right? So guys, first from this we'll find the present total age, of the family, right? The present total age. That's very simple. Total age is what? Again guys, we'll use a basic formula. The total age, or of the sum of the ages, is the average age into the number of members, right? Average age at this point of time is 35 years. The number of members at this point of time is obviously 5. So 35 into 5, which we have to do. What is 35 into 5, guys? Very simple. 150 plus 25 is 175 years, right? This has to be 175 years first of all, right? Okay, now what will be the total age of the same family exactly after 1 year? That we can find out with the help of this, right? Okay, let me write it. After 1 year, the total age of the same family, right? The total age of the same 5-member family. So guys, what happens actually? Look at this, we have exactly 5 members, right? So after 1 year, the age of each member should increase by 5 years. Very obvious, right? After 1 year, the age of each member should increase by 5 years. By 1 year, right? And we have 5 members, so the total age should increase by 5 years. Very obvious, right? Guys, after 1 year, the age of each member should increase by 1 year, and we have 5 members, so the total age should increase by 5 years. That means the total age should be 175, which was previous, plus 5, which you can say as 180 years, all right, which you can just say as 180 years, simple, right? Okay, now let's look at the average. So what we can say about the average? We can say average should be the total age divided by the number of people, finally we can talk about this. So what we can say, guys, the total age after 1 year of the 5 people is 180, and the number of members is still 5, so we just have to do 180 plus by 5, which comes to be 36, right guys? This comes to be nothing but 36 years. So there is one thing, which you can understand with the help of this example. See guys, that average is increasing exactly by 1 year, earlier it was 35 and now it is 36, so it is increasing exactly by 1 year. You know why? Because of very simple thing, we are going 1 year to the future, right, from the present to the after 1 year. Since we are moving 1 year to the future, that's why the average age is also increasing by 1 year. Alright guys, simple things. Okay, what happened here? Because we are moving from present to 1 year into the future, right? That is why the average also increasing by exactly 1. All right, so this happens always, right? If we are moving 2 years to the future, then the average will increase by 2 years. But we have to remember one more thing. That the number of members should be constant, right? The number of members should not change. This concept will work only when the number of members do not change. Alright guys, so here we worked on after 1 year. Similarly, we can talk about after 2 years and 3 years and so on, right? Let me write this. After 2 years, what should be, let's do that, right? After 2 years, what should be the average age of the same 5-member family? Now guys, we'll increase it by 2 years. Okay, earlier we increased by 1 year, now it will increase by 2 years, so it should be 37, right? It must be 37. Just a second. All right, after 2 years, what should be the average age of the same 5-member family? We can say what? 35 plus 2, right? 37 years. Why? Because we are going 2 years into the future this time. Similarly guys, if you are going to the past, right? In these example, we are going to the future. Suppose we are going to the past now. Let's take the example that before 3 years, okay? Before 3 years, right? So we are going 3 years into the past. That means the average age should also decrease by 3, simple, because you are going 3 years into the past. So average age should decrease by 3 now, okay? So right now the average age is 35, decreasing by 3, it should be 32 years. Alright guys, now it should be 32 years, simple as that, right? Hope you understand this, everybody, hope you just understand. So this is, the concept of the averages which I wanted you to understand. Anyone any doubt? Just let me know if there is any doubt. I hope there is no doubt. So guys, this is how we can always use this concept, but we can use it only when the number of members are not changing. Just remember this point, that we can use it only when the number of members is not changing, right? After 2 years, average age increases by 2. After 5 years, average increases by 5. Before 7 years, the average decreases by 7. Simple, right? Okay, let us move ahead. Let's try one question, right, on the basis of this. A very simple question, guys. Okay, a very simple question. I want all of you to try, and I'm sure you can solve it within a minute, right, guys? 1 or 2, maximum 1.5 minutes, right? It's a simple question. Let's see how many of you give me the right answer. Yes, Asha, that's the right answer. It was a simple question indeed. The question says that the averages of a family consisting 5 members 3 years ago was 3 years ago was 20 years. Find the average of the family with the same people after the 3 years from now, right? So they have given the data of 3 years from the past, and they're asking the question for 3 years, from the future, right? Okay, let me write this quickly. The data given what? Of 3 years ago, right? So 3 years ago, the average age, right? The average age of a 5 member family, is given to us as how much? Is given to us as 20 years, right? And what do we have to find out? We have to find the average age of the family with the same people after the 3 years from now. So 3 years later, or 3 years from now, whatever you can call it, right? 3 years in the future, we need to find the average age of the same 5 member family, right? Okay, guys, so we need to understand that how much time is spending here, right? How much the time is spending. Yes, Jyotik, do you want to say something? Just write it. Okay, so how much time is spending, guys? In this case, from 3 years from the past to 3 years from the from now. Overall, we are moving 6 years into the future, right? A lot of people say what, that we are moving 3 years. No, guys, we are moving 6 years. See, we have to understand, we have to compare with the data which is given, right? We don't have to compare from the present. From present, yes, we are moving 3 years into the future, but the data which is given is what? 3 years from the 3 years, in the past. So 3 in the past to 3 in the future, we are moving 6 years, right? We are actually moving 6 years. Yes, Jyotik. See, in CLAT, they ask the questions in the form of DI, right? In the form of DI. And in DI, they ask such kind of questions, yes. First, there will be the data, and then, there will be the questions in the language form. Okay, so yes, they can ask such kind of questions as well, okay. Alright, so yes, we are moving to the 6 years, right? From past to future, we are moving 6 years. That means the average age should increase by 6 years, right? From 20 to 26, right, guys? See, we do not have to compare from the present. We have to compare from the data what is given. The data given is of 3 years, in the past, and the question is about 3 years in the future. So 3 years from the past, 2 3 years from the future, the gap is of 6 years, and we are moving in the future 6 years. So the average will increase also by 6 years. That means the average must be 26 now, right? So that was question number 1. Now, guys, let's do question number 2. This is a slightly challenging question, okay? This is a challenging question. So yes, guys, I want you to try first. Obviously, I want you to try. But you can take, let's say you can take 3 minutes to solve this, okay? You can just take 3 minutes to solve this problem. All right. I want you guys to take 3 minutes. No, Jyotik, it's not correct. All right. Should I explain, or do you guys need some more time? Okay, so maybe I should explain this now, right? Okay, this is a tricky question, but yes, not impossible, right? It's a question says that the average age of a family consisting 5 members 3 years ago was 35 years. 1 year ago, a new baby was born in the family. Now, what will be the average age of the family 3 years hence? Okay, so guys, this question actually can be done in a lot of ways. Let me tell you, it can be done in a lot of ways. Right? There is not a single method. There is not a single method for doing this. But yes, I would like to tell you one of the best possible methods. Obviously, right? The very first method which comes in students' mind to calculate the total age at every point of time. Okay, that is correct, but a bit lengthy. Okay, that is obviously correct, but a bit lengthy. So I would like to tell you something better than that. Okay, so guys, I'm sure you remember I told you that concept of changing the average age, but I told you that this concept works only when the number of members remains same, right? Only when the number of members remain same. If the members are changing, then this concept will not work, right? This will not work when the members are changing. So in this question, you see that the member is changing. One new baby is getting born in the family, so obviously the member are changing. That's why this concept is not going to work directly. So what we can do, guys, okay, let me tell you the strategy of doing this. Okay, the question says the average age of the family of 5 members 3 years ago was 35. Let me write it. Okay, let me write everything one by one. So 3 years ago, the average age of 5-member family, the average age of 5-member family is how much? We can say this is equals to 35 years. All right, this is equals to 35 years. We can just say that, right? Okay, now the baby is born when, guys? The baby is born 1 year ago, right? The baby is born 1 year ago. That means till then, until the baby is born, till then the members will be the same, right? The other 5 members will be the same till the baby is not born, right? So let's work on the duration when the baby is still not born, right? So average is the 5-member family 1 year ago, right? Let me write this. The baby is not born, right? Baby is not born at this point of time. So what do you guys say? What should be the average age at that point of time? We can say what? The baby is not born, the members are same. So from this to this, we are moving 2 years to the future, right? 3 years ago to 1 year ago, we are moving 2 years to the future. That means the average from this to this should also increase by 2 years, right? That means it should be 37 years. Is it everyone or not? The average is increasing by 2 years as well, right? Because at this point of time, the members are not changing. No new member has come. So the average will, the concept of the average changing will be working here. The time is changing by 2 years plus 2, so the average will also increase by 2. Simple. Now, guys, we know that at this point of time, the members are going to change because the new baby is going to get born, right? So here we have to be careful. Okay, whenever the members are going to change, then we'll start working on the total age, because now the concept of average age which we are doing here is not going to work because the members are going to change, right? So here we'll be working on the total age. All right, so we'll say what? 1 year ago, what will be the total age of these 5 members? Okay, guys, the total age, the 5 members family. still I'm assuming the baby is not born, obviously, right? Still I'm assuming the baby is not born because we have 5 members, right? Okay, so what should be the total age? Very obvious. It will be the average into the number of people. Average has become 37, right? Average has been 37. The people are 5. So we can say the total age should be 37 into 5, which you can say 150 plus 35, which is 185 years, right guys? We can say this is nothing but 185 years. Simple as that, right? Hope that's clear. Now guys, let's say one thing, okay? Let's just say one thing. Now assume that the baby has finally born, okay? Now let's say that the baby is finally born, okay? So when the baby will be born, we'll having, 6 members in the family, right? We are going to have 6 members in the family, okay? So the total age of now 6 members, right? Because a baby is also included in a family, okay? 6 members family. And let me write that baby is born now, right? Baby is born. So guys, what will be the total age right now? See, baby is just born, right? The baby is just born at this moment. So obviously when the baby is born, the age of the baby is 0, very obvious, because the baby is just born. So we can say the total age is still 185, right? Is not changing, is still 185 because the age of baby at that point of time is 0. Very obvious, right? Okay. Now what, guys, now we have the data with the baby, right? Now we have the data with the baby, good for us, right? Now we can solve this question very easily, okay? Because the final question was about the 6-member family, all right? Final question is about the 6th member of the family, and now we have the data of 6 members, right? So we do not need to do much. We can do one thing, we can just find the average age of 6-member family at this point of time, which is 1 year ago, right? Let me do that. So we can say now that 1 year ago, the average age of 6-member family, right? Average age of 6-member family. The baby is also in the family now, right? The baby is born. Let me write it once again. Baby is born. So guys, what will be the average? See, the total age is the same, right? The total age with the baby or without the baby is same at this point of time because the age of baby is right now 0 years. But the average age will change. Without the baby, the members are 5. With the baby, the members are 6. So the average age will change, right? The average age will be 185 years divided by the number of members, which is 6. And guys, do not, calculate it so much into the decimals. Let's do one thing. Let's write it 30 is to 5 by 6 years, okay? 30 is to 5 by 6, right? I'm just writing the data in the improper fraction, right? Okay, good evening, Ayush. Good evening. I'm sure you're doing great. Okay guys, coming to the final part of the question, they're asking that what will be the average age of the family 3 years hence, okay? So the final thing guys, see, we have to find the average age of the family of 6 members 3 years hence, and we have the data of the average age of the family of 6 members, but we have the data 1 year ago, right? But it's not a big thing now because at least we have the data of average age of 6-member family. So we can now that concept, right? We can just use that concept of the average age, this one which I told you here, because now the members, we have the data of the average age of 6-member family, all right? The members are not changing, right? So let me use it here. We can say 3 years hence, the average age of 6-member family, what it should be. Okay guys, the people are not changing, right? Only the time is changing. So from 1 year ago to 3 years hence, right? From 1 year ago to 3 years hence, we can say what, that we are moving 4 years into the future, right? We are just moving 4 years into the future. That means the average age must increase by 4 years as well, right? The average age must increase by 4 years. So we can say this has to be 34 is to 5 by 6. Simple, right everybody? The average age should also increase by 4 years. So this should be 34 is to 5 by 6. And finally, we are able to, solve this question. The answer has to be, the final answer has to be 34 is to 5 by 6 years. Anybody, any doubt? Please let me know, right? Guys, just let me know if there is any doubt. Anyone? Any doubt here? I hope this is clear. Okay guys, I would like to tell you one more method of solving these kind of questions, okay? I would like to tell you one more method, which the second method is actually a better one. Okay, the second method is actually a better one, right? But it is more logical, right? So yeah, it might be a bit difficult for you to understand in the beginning, but once you understand, trust me, the second method will become your favorite, that's for sure, right? Let's see how we can do that. The question says, let me read it again. The question says, the average age of a family consisting 5 members 3 years ago was 35. 1 year ago, the baby was born, and find the average age of the family now, 3 years hence. So guys, what we do in the second method, right? We know there is one change is happening, right? The one new baby is coming up in the family. So in the second method, we will, ignore the new member in the family, right? Or you can say we ignore all the changes. Just ignore all the changes in the family which are happening. In this question, the change is one member is being born, right? So we just ignore that change, okay? Let's ignore the change. So what is the question? What is given? The average age of a family 3 years ago, right? Let me write it. 3 years ago, the average age of 5-member family is 35 years, right? Okay, as I said, just ignore the change which is given, right? Just look at the final question. The question is to find the average age of the family 3 years hence. So we'll just do this, right? 3 years hence. What is the average age of the family? Average age of 5-member family, right? Because we have not taken the baby in the family, right? We have not taken baby in the family. Simple. We are not considering any changes, okay? So guys, what will be the average age? Very simple. The members are not changing, only the time is changing. So the average age will change according to the time changing, right? The time is changing by 6 years in the future, right? So the average age will increase by 6. That means 35 plus 6 must be 41 years. Right guys, it must be nothing but 41 years. I'm sure all of you understand it. Everyone, any doubt with this? Anybody? What I did, I just took no changes in the family, right? I just assumed no changes in the family. So we can say the average age must increase by 6 years as well. Simple, right? Now guys, coming to the change, the change which has happened. What change has happened? Remember, one new baby is born in the family, okay? So guys, now whenever we consider the change, right, whenever we start using that change, we always work with the total age, okay? We always work with the total age. So let's, work on the total age, all right? So guys, the total age, if we can find out the total age at this moment without the baby, all right? So 3 years hence, which is also, the duration of the question, right? The period of the question as well. Okay guys, so what will be the total age without the baby? Can you all tell me what is the total age of the 5-member family without the baby, right? Without baby, let me write like this. Or without any change, same thing, without baby. So guys, I think it's very simple, right? The average we know, right? Number of members we know, so total we'll get it. We can say average into the number of members means 41 years into 5. And that must be 205 years, right? That must be nothing but 205 years. Simple as that, right, everybody? That's so simple, okay? Now, okay, after all of this, guys, now we are going to, take that baby into the picture, okay? So far, the baby is not coming into the picture. Now it will come into the picture, all right? So let's consider that baby, okay? Because of whom the whole question is. The whole question has become so wonderful, right? Okay, now let's consider the baby. The total age of the 6-member family. 6-member, why? Because the baby is being included now, right? So let's write with the baby, okay? Let's write in the bracket with the baby. Okay guys, so what will be the total age now? So very simple. The total age of the 5 members, 205, plus the age of baby at that point of time, right? Plus the age of the baby, because baby is the only one which is added now, right? So we'll write age of the baby at that time. So can anyone tell me what will be the age of baby at that time? 3 years hence. Anybody in the among the students, can you tell me that what will be the age of the baby at this point of time? Anyone? Guys, can you tell me what is the age of the baby at this point of time? Anyone? Okay, remember guys, the baby was born when? Baby was born 1 year ago, right? And this is a time of 3-year hence, right? So the baby born 1 year ago, okay? The baby born 1 year ago, and this moment is how, what? Okay, the baby is born 1 year ago, and we are calculating the time which is 3-year hence. So 1 year ago the baby is born, and this we are talking about 3-year hence. So guys, the age of the baby should be 4, right? Some people say 2, but it is 4, okay? Is whenever you're getting confused in these kind of questions, you can always, assume the years, okay? And you can assume from the present year, that will be the best. For example, it's being 2025, right? The present year is 2025. So the baby is born in 2024, right? And we are talking about 3-year hence. So 3-year hence from 2025, which means 2028, right? So the age of the baby should be what? The baby born in 2024, and we are talking about 2028. So obviously the baby is now 4 years old, right? So age of baby is 4 years, very simple. So we'll add it, right? 205 plus 4 will give us 209. So guys, we can say what? The 3-year hence, the total age of the family with the baby is 209 years, right? And the question is actually about the same. We have to find the average age of the family 3-year hence. We got the total age of the family with the baby 3-year hence. Now we have to only find out the average age. That will be very simple now, right? Guys, we have the total age, we just have to find the average age. Okay, so we have to write one more thing only, right? We just have to do one more calculation. All right, let's do this here. Okay, let's just do this here. So what do we have to find? 3-year hence. 3-year hence, right? The average age of 6 members family with the baby, right? Including the baby. We can say what is that? Which should be the total age divided by the number of members. Okay, the total age of them we just calculated, that was 209. Okay, and the number of members now are 6, right? So the average must be 209 by 6, right? Babies included, so the members are 6 obviously. Now guys, if you simplify, okay, this will be same 34:5 by 6 years, all right, which we have found in the first method as well. If you remember, in the first method also we had found the same answer, 34:5 by 6. In this method also we have got the same answer. It has to be same, isn't guys? That has to be same, right? So finally we got the answer of this problem in 2 ways, okay? We understood this question in 2 methods. Hope all of you are able to understand, right? Okay, so a new concept with us is the weighted average, okay? Weighted average. What is this? What is weighted average called, right? Fine, let's understand the meaning of the weighted average first, right? So as the name says guys, weighted average, it's basically, we'll have to find the average of the different weights. You can say that weight doesn't mean that weight, okay, in kgs. Weight, you can say the parts, okay? Weight, you can say is a part. So we have to find the average of the different parts, or you can say that you have to find the average of the averages. This method is used to find the average of the averages, all right? This method is used to find the average of the averages, right? Okay, how do we do this? Everyone, let's understand this. How do we find the weighted average? So I would like to take one simple example to make you understand this, right? Let me write the example. The example is, everybody, the example is, let's say the average weight, let's say average age, right? Average age of a class of 20 students is, let's say, is 25 years. This is just an example, right? And the average age of another class of, let's say, 15 students, right? Of 15 students is given to us 20 years, all right, is 20 years. Now we have to find out the average age, find the average age of all students, right, of all the students in these two classes combined, okay, in these two classes combined, all right. Find the average age of all the students in these two classes combined. So this is the question which we have, all right. Fine, let's see how we can do that. Not a difficult one, all right. See guys, a lot of students do what? They say that the first class, the average of the students is 25. In the second class, the average age is 20. So a lot of students do what? They just find the average of these two numbers. That means they find the average of 25 and 20, all right. They find the average of 25 years and 20 years. Okay, and yes, we'll get 22.5 years as the answer with this method. But guys, this is not correct, okay. This is just not correct. This will be correct only and only when the number of members in both the families are same. Number of members in both the classes are same, right. This will be correct only when the number of students in both the classes are same. Otherwise, this method is not correct, okay. This is just not the right way. So the point is that how do we solve then, right? The main point is how do we solve. So guys, to solve this question, you know, what do we do? To solve this example, what do we do? We just, you know, we go from the basics, right guys? What is the basic to find the average? Remember, in the very first slide we learned the basic of finding the average is the total sum of the quantities divided by the number of the quantities. So here we'll do what? We have to find the average age of all the students combined, right? Let me write this. The average age of all students in two classes combined, right? In two classes combined. So we can say this has to be the total age of all students in both the classes, right? If all the students in both classes divided by the number of students in both classes combined, right? Number of students in both the classes combined. All right. So guys, number of students is very simple. We directly know, right? The number of students in the first class is 20. In the second class is 15. So that is something very easy, right? We only have to work on the total age of all the students, right? We only have to work on the total age. So how can we find out the total age, right? So again, guys, remember the first slide. I told you something that average is the sum of the quantities divided by the number of quantities. So sum of the quantities is what? Sum of the quantities is the average into the number of the quantities. So we can find the sum of the ages of, of the students of individual classes with the help of this formula, right? So if we talk about the first class, we have 20 students whose average is 25 years, right? Whose average is 25 years. So what will be the total age of the students for first class? So total age of the students of the first class, right? We can just use the logic, which is the average age into the number of the students. Average age here is 25 years. The number of students are 20. So 25 years into 20 will give us 500 years. First thing, right? Will just give us 500 years. Now the second thing, let's find out the total age of the students of the second class, right? Of the second class. So we can do the same thing here, right? The total age into the number of the students. So total age of the students in the second class is, okay, average into the number of students. Average is 20, number of students is 15. So we can say 20 years into 15, right? That will give us 300 years, right? That's it, right guys? That's it. So let's just write the data, okay? The total age of the students for the first class is 500 years, and for the second class we can say is 300 years, right? And that should be 500 plus 300 is equal to 800, right? And 800 divided by 20 plus 15, we can say this is 35, right? 800 by 35 years. So this is, we can say, the average age of all the students in both the classes combined. If we simplify what it should be, okay, 5 is common, so we can say this is 160 by 7, right? We can also do into, the mixed fraction, so it should be 22 is to 6 by 7, right guys? It should be 22 is to 6 by 7. So there is one more thing, to understand, which is very interesting. Remember guys, the average age of the students of the first class was 25, right? The average age of the students of the second class is 20, all right? So this average is 22 to 6 by 7 is, between these two numbers, all right? It's between these two numbers. That concept that result always works. Whenever you're finding, you know, the average of two groups, okay, you're finding the average of any quantity of two groups. So always the average will be between these two averages, between the average of two groups. Simple, right? You can see 22 to 6 by 7 is between 20 and 25. One more thing, guys, this is more close to which number, right? 20 or 25. See, if you simplify, this is 22.86 something, right? This will be 22.86 something. So 22.86 is more close to 25, okay? 22.86 is actually more close to 25. Why is that so? There is a logic behind that as well. It's more close to 25 because the weight of this class is more. Weight means the number of students, right? In this class, you see we have 20 students. In this class, we have 15 students. The weight of this class is more. That's why the average, you know, the final average is more close to the average of this class, okay? So these are also, you know, additional concepts which you can understand and use it, especially guys when we have to solve the question with the help of the options. You know, these two concepts which I told you, that can be helpful, right? These concepts can be helpful when we have to, you know, eliminate the options, right? We can use it to eliminate the option in some of the questions of DI. Alright, so that is about the weighted average, the basic concept. Now there is one simple question which I want you guys to try, okay? I want you guys to try. You guys can take 2 minutes to solve it, alright? Everybody just take 2 minutes to solve this problem. The first question on weighted average, everybody just do it. I hope you guys are, you know, learning something new with the help of this session. Guys, I hope you are solving it, right? Alright, maybe I should solve it now, right? Maybe I just should solve it. Okay, guys, let's just read the question. The question says that the ratio of the number of students in 3 classes is given and their respective average ages are also given. Find the average age of all the 3 classes taken together. Alright. Guys, in this question, we are not given the number of students, right? We are just given the ratio of the number of students. But that can also be enough to solve the question, alright? And we are given the average age of all the, classes, students of all the classes. That's a good thing. So how can we do that? Okay, so we can say what, guys? We can first assume the number of students, alright, with the help of the ratio which is given to us. Let the number of students is, we can say 3x, comma, 4x and 6x respectively, right? Let the number of students are 3x, 4x and 6x respectively, first thing first, right? Now let us find the average age of all the students, alright? The average age of all students, we can say what? We can say this is the total age of all the students, total age of all students divided by the number of total students, right? Divided by the number of total students. So guys, just like the last problem, we can find out, just like the last example, we can find out the total age of all the students and the number of students also, right? But yes, we do not have the exact data. Don't worry, we'll do it in the variables. And I'm sure you will see in a few minutes that the variable will get just cancelled out, alright? So guys, the total age of all the students means we will do the total age of all the students in all the 3 classes one by one. So for the first class, the total age is what? The average age into the number of students. The average age of the first class is 22 years. And the number of students we assumed as 3x, alright. Now let's do for the second class, the average age is 21 years, alright. And the number of students is, we assume as 4x, great. Next guys, the average age of the third class is 25 years, right? And the number of students in the third class is 6x. That's it, right? That's it. So this is about the total age of all the students in all the 3 classes combined divided by the number of students in all the classes. So for the first class is 3x, for the second class is 4x, and for the third class it is 6x, right? Okay, let's just do some basic calculation after that. So 22 into 3, we can say 66x, right? This is 66x plus 21 into 4, we can say is 84x, right? And the last one is 25 into 6, which you can say is 150x, alright, divided by 3 plus 4 plus 6, which will be 13x, right? Now guys, very simple, x is going to get cancelled, obviously. Let's just add it first. So 66 plus 84 is being 150, 150 plus 150 is being 300. That's good. So 300x divided by 13x, x got cancelled out. So this will be, 300 by 13 years in the end. That's it. 300 by 13, which we can also write in the mixed fraction. Okay, so 13 2s is 26, then 40 3s are, and then 1 by 13. Alright. So this should be, the average age of all the 3 classes combined, right? Simple guys. So this is how we can solve this. Not very difficult, right? I'm sure you have understood. Yes, we can do one more thing. Since you see guys that x is getting cancelled in the end, right? The x got cancelled in the end. So we can also assume the number of students only as 3, 4 and 6. We do not need to take x in this case when we are assuming the number of the students. Why? Because x is, getting cancelled in the end. So yes, we can just assume 3, 4 and 6. We can save some time in terms of writing, okay? So guys, this is how, we understood the this is application of weighted average, right? Actually, weighted average is something which will be helping us in solving one very important topic, mixture alligation, later on, right? There is one more chapter in arithmetic in our syllabus which is called mixture alligation, and the mixture alligation can be solved with the help of weighted average easily, alright? So weighted average is helpful in one more, topic. That's why I taught you an average topic as well, okay? So it has one more application, I mean to say, right? Okay, so this is, I think, all about this average topic. So we learned the basics, we learned the average age, we learned the weighted average, and we did some very good questions as well, which definitely will help you in preparing for the DI, sets in the CLAT exam, right? I hope you guys enjoyed the session. If you have anything to ask, any doubt, you can always write, obviously, and you can also write in the comment section that how did you like the session, is there any changes which you want us to do, is there any other topic which you want us to cover, or anything else. You can definitely write in the comment. Till then, thank you so much guys, bye bye, take care, all the best.